Command, the word of the day is Trident. We have 2 alien craft on aggressive approach.
Icon 4 coming online, accelerating. It looks like it's going to impact somewhere in the South Indian Ocean.
Command, the word of the day is Trident. We have 2 alien craft on aggressive approach.
Icon 4 coming online. It looks like it's going to impact somewhere in the South Indian Ocean.
The rest of the ship is descending.
Put on the board now.
Yes, sir.
Command, the word of the day is Trident.
370 pops up again. It just pops up right at the screen in this scene here with all the debris blowing, flying around. And take note that this is a vehicle. So if that wasn't enough, I discovered 370 again in another scene on top of another bus, the same number. You have 370 popping right at you. Check it out. So we have 2 clips of 370 popping right at you at the camera. Okay, also the kicker, guys, right here, it says MIA, missing in action. MIA, 370, the same vehicle.
Command, the word of the day is Trident.
It looks like it's going to impact somewhere in the South Indian Ocean.
Okay, what you're looking at is the Washington D.C. streets are laid out, and they make an image of a star, and that star is upside down star, which is a church saying. But here's one thing. Okay, so when you have a pentagram, you always end up with a trident. Always. A pentagram will always make a trident. It's part of the nature of a pentagram. But the very tip of the trident, you'll see there's a little orange bubble A. That is the White House. I want to read to you what a scepter is. A scepter is a symbolic ornamental staff held in the hand by a ruling monarch. It is an item of royal or imperial strength. Sometimes it is used for showing a sense of divinity, godlikeness. You can go back to Babylon, you can go back all the way back, and there are images of kings holding scepters. They're not hard to find. You'll see them in a lot of these Babylonian hieroglyphs where you'll see the Nephilim and the king holding the scepter and all this. But yeah. So anyway, it's just, they've been around since the beginning of the Nephilim, because I'm going to read to you now from Isaiah 14. And it shall come to pass in that day, that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Now listen very closely. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee, to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up their thrones, all the kings of the nations. And they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought thee down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worm covers thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Time out. Y'all remember what Akra Eos means, don't you? Akra means to act in a way against one's own will. It's the name Sobarka backwards, which is Barack Obama's cult name. Barack Obama Sobarka. How thou have fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. Akra Eos, remember Eos means morning star, morning goddess. How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, Is this the man? Is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? Isn't it fascinating that in Isaiah 14 and verse 5, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. The scepter is the supreme embodiment of the authority, the sovereignty, and the power and or the divinity of whoever is holding it. It's kind of funny that the one verse in the Bible that talks about Lucifer being cast down and as a man is going to be thrown into the pit. I find that very interesting. Okay, where is the tip of the trident in Washington? The very tippy top of that trident is the White House. Who's in charge? The president. It used to be the president and Congress and the Senate, but it is no longer the president, the Congress, the Senate. It is now the ruler. His name is Barack Obama. He is the Antichrist. His name backwards means to act in a way against one's own will. It means Eos, morning star goddess, mother goddess of all demons. And it also means Eos, Eo, like Abaddon. It all means, that's what it means. You can't make this stuff up. That's what it means. Do you find it strange that the ruler of the nation instigating the wars all over this planet, that the ruler happens to be sitting in this building called the Capitol, and that he just happens to be in charge of a country that has its capital laid out in the form of a upside down pentagram, which happens to be the Church of Satan. And it happens to make a perfect pentagram, and it happens to make a perfect trident. Everybody listen and listen good. All of us have risked our lives. We've risked everything. Our families. We've risked our safety. We've risked everything to warn you guys about what's coming. At this point, willful ignorance is your own problem. Willful ignorance is just that. It's willful. And if you choose to remain willfully ignorant, you do not get to choose your consequences. This is an appeal. I'm telling you now, I am a harbinger. I was called as a harbinger. God called me before my birth to be a harbinger. For those of y'all who don't know what this ministry is about, I'll give you a quick heads up. Even the sunglass company that the Lord gave me, our logo has come out of the darkness into the light. The name of the company was Vampires. It's before I got saved. Our logo is an upside down pyramid. It also makes an upside down trident. Isaiah 29:15 says, "Those who try and hide their plans from the Lord are doomed. They carry out their schemes in secret and think no one will see them or know what they are doing. They turn everything upside down." Okay, guys. Back during the Super Bowl, several commercials were played which telegraphed the plans of the enemy. By the way, the enemy takes hold of human beings and he produces whatever he wants with them, using them as slaves. I want you to be able to wrap your mind around the way the enemy works. It's a hive mentality. The entire earth is a hive. Satan can take control of tens of millions of people at one time and have them do his bidding. I know that's kind of hard for a lot of people to think about. It's kind of thinking outside the box, but it is what it is. Back during the Super Bowl, the Maserati logo, this young lady came out and she starts out and she says, "They're a giant. They've always been here." That is a reference to Genesis 6.4. There were giants on the earth in those days and after that. For when the sons of God had intercourse with human women, they gave birth to the Nephilim. Nephal means fallen, E means one. So this little girl says there are giants, they've always been here. After she goes through her dialogue, letting us know cryptically that Satan has taken over the entire human race. She says, we slowly come out of the shadows. We slowly walk out of the darkness. Shows them coming out from behind the veil. And then she says, and strike. As soon as the little girl says, and strike, run, there's the Maserati logo. It is a trident. Okay, now, that's where Satan telegraphed what he was going to do, and it started right there. It was so obvious that if you have spiritual eyes, it is ridiculously absurd how obvious it is. That's how it's ridiculous. It's not even hidden if you have spiritual eyes. There was nothing in that commercial that sold a car. That's all there is to it. It was not meant to sell cars. It was meant to send a cryptic message. Shortly after that, Lyndon LaRouche came out with a video saying Obama's going to invade the Ukraine and he's going to start World War III. Very shortly, the United States, by proxy, put people into the Ukraine to shoot people on both sides in order to destabilize the government, in order to put in a puppet government that the UN and the United States and the New World Order could all be part of, in order to take over the Ukraine into the New World Order. The symbol for the Ukrainian government is a trident. That is their coat of arms. So now we have a Maserati commercial that says we strike, it's a trident, and all of a sudden we're in the Ukraine, destabilizing the Ukraine, picking a fight with Russia, and the logo or the coat of arms for the Ukraine happens to be a trident. Okay, well, there is an award ceremony here for movies. It's called the Oscar Awards. Well, I want to tell you what the word Oscar means. So, the award for being the best pretender is an Oscar award. Oscar means shining spear of God. That's what the word Oscar means. So at the Shining Spear of God Awards, and I would submit to you that their God is Satan. So at the Shining Spear of God Awards, the Shining Spear of God Pretender Awards, Lady Gaga, and like I said, don't hate Lady Gaga, God have mercy on her. But Lady Gaga is a spokesperson for the devil. Lady Gaga went to those awards, the Shining Spear of God Awards, and on her dress, hidden in plain sight, was a perfect image of a serpent with a forked tongue and a trident and a missile launching right on her dress. It was really amazing. I was absolutely amazed. Okay. Well, shortly after that, I was in prayer about all this. I knew that everything was busting loose. And the Lord showed me that the Pentagon was in the shape of a pentagram. And as I looked at it, the sun was on it in such a way that I went, oh my gosh, my spiritual gifting kicked in. And it was very obvious that the Pentagon made a giant trident. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a giant trident. It has the staff of the spear going right to the bottom. It has the spear hooks going out to the right and the left. And in the middle, it's got the spear point right in the middle. Not only Kali, which is the mother goddess of all demons. If you go watch the Ian Bud Light commercial, you'll see that. But Kali also has another demon goddess named Shiva the Destroyer, which, by the way, they put an image of Barack Obama on either, I think, Life magazine, standing as Shiva. Shiva the Destroyer also holds a trident. And don't forget, a trident is a scepter, which is the supreme embodiment of the power and the authority of that king. And the king that holds a trident is the devil. That's all there is to it. Neptune, Shiva, Kali. Just go pick one of these pagan goddesses or gods. It's all demonic, and they're all holding tridents. Shortly after that, it comes to my attention that there's 2 trident beams that were put in a park across the bay from where the Twin Towers were. And these 2 trident beams are in a pool of water, so their reflection is seen. So you get the right side upside down paradigm, right side up, upside down. And then in the lobby of the One World Freedom Tower are 2 tridents also. Don't forget, the One World Freedom Tower has a beam in it that was signed by Barack Obama, and he signed the words, "We remember, we rebuild, we come back stronger. The WWW is va va va, is 666. And it was on a beam that said One World, and the letter O was an image of a brain. Like one brain, one hive. It is what it is. He signed 666, put it on the top beam, and they put it in place because the 2 have become one. Okay, so now what's the devil's plan? Well, now we had, all of a sudden, a missing Malaysian airliner. And people have been looking at it for, I don't know, weeks. Everybody, man, God have mercy on these people's families. They're freaking out. Where are our family members? Well, let me tell you something. Planes don't just disappear. There's black boxes. There's also this transmitter from the Rolls-Royce engines and these things. I mean, it's a complete and utter lie that they don't know where the plane is. It is a lie. And I'm going to prove it to you. It was done to show who's in charge. That's why that airliner is missing. Satan is trying to show he's the boss. Okay, the missing Malaysian airliner just happened to have on the tail a trident. At that point, the Lord moved on me strongly. I mean, the Lord moved me to investigate. I was like, something's up. I mean, something's about to happen. Malaysia means mixed race. There was a trident on the Malaysian airliner. I said, oh my gosh, something's going on. Dave said, oh my gosh, have you seen the Malaysian flag? Let me tell you something. Here we go. Get ready. The Malaysian flag is identical to the flag of the United States. It has one stripe more, one red and white stripe more. It has 14 instead of 13 for a very specific reason. It also has the blue rectangle, but instead of stars, it has a crescent moon. The crescent moon is the symbol for Islam. It also has a risen sun. A risen sun is the symbol for the Antichrist has risen. In the Quran, it states, the coming of the Mahdi will be preceded by the sun rising over the West. Barack Obama's logo for his campaign is the sun rising over the red and white stripes of the flag of the West, the United States. We are called the West. Our flag is a symbol of the West. The red and white stripes represent the West. And when the sun is rising over the red and white stripes, it is the sun rising over the West, which is a cryptic way of announcing the Mahdi. The sun rising over the West, but now on the Malaysian flag, which is identical to the U.S. flag, the symbol of Islam is on the blue. The stars are gone. The crescent moon has become in place of the stars. And the risen sun is on the blue with the crescent moon. The Mahdi has come.
Command, the word of the day is Trident.
Looks like it's going to impact somewhere in the South Indian Ocean.
So if that wasn't enough, I discovered 370 again in another scene. So we have two clips of 370 popping right at you at the camera. Okay, also the kicker, guys, right here, it says MIA, missing in action. MIA 370, the same vehicle.
Command, the word of the day is Trident.
It looks like it's going to impact somewhere in the South Indian Ocean.
The devil has taken over this country and is preparing for the final war. You couldn't make it more perfect.
To build a better world sometimes means tearing the old one down.
Then we're ready. We wait until they get sleepy. Wait until they get so big they can barely move. Then we walk out of the shadows, quietly walk out of the dark, and strike.